Today I want to talk about a tool that is indispensable for the gardener, both inside and out. It is, of course, the watering can. We're all familiar with the outdoor watering can, and this is the classic design. But there was a time when watering cans were, well, they weren't designed like this. And I was reading a little bit about the history, and I've got a little demonstration to show you. They had something called a watering pot. And here's my little demo. Basically, you filled up a container, it had holes in the bottom, and to stop the water coming out, there was only one hole at the top. And you put your thumb over it. Let me just shake some of that water off. And I'm squeezing it. And to let the water out, all you do is let go of the thumb, lets air in, stop. And as you can see, it's a little bit messy with that dripping in there. And the real classic date when it comes to our modern day design of watering cans is probably the 1880s. A company in England called the Hawes Watering Company, and they developed a patented watering can. And it looked very much like this. The patent was that you had this collar, and you had two ways, a carrying handle, and you had a tipping handle, and they put a rose on the end. Now, why these things are called roses is actually another thing I discovered this morning. I had no idea before, because people would always ask, why is it called a rose? It sprinkles the water around, lots of little fine things, and doesn't wash the soil away. A roseur is the French word for sprinkle. So let's talk about some of the materials these cans can be made of. I showed you a plastic one. My favorite one, though, is the metal one. And there are different kinds of metal out there. There are some that are painted. What you've got to guarantee is that the coating, these are called galvanized, hot dipped in zinc. The can is made first. They're all put together, they're all soldered and welded or whatever they use to do it, or crimped. Then the whole can itself is dipped into molten zinc and it's rolled around. And if you look around the can, you'll see that there's flow marks, there's some heavier ones. The zinc protects the metal, so very, very important you get that. The plastic cans, though, the sunlight can break them down, or if you hit them, they can crack in the winter. Metal cans seem to be more resilient, and I've had many, many years. And I've been to antique markets where I've seen lots of antique watering cans of all different sizes and shapes. But just like the outside cans, there's a lot of designs. And these are a miniature version of the classic Hawes watering can. This one was patented, as I say, in the 1880s, and is an excellent can. It's good because, as I say, it's got two little carrying handles, just in case you don't really need that. The long spout is really important because you have to get amongst the foliage to get into some plants to be able to tip around. You don't want to be splashing on the foliage. It's a no-no to splash the foliage too much. It has a little rose that you can push onto that and water very fine soils. You don't want to wash them away. So back it goes for storage. That's kind of neat. This one I like as well. It can hold probably just under a gallon in there. It has that neck that comes up. Now that allows you to tip and get almost every last bit of water without the water cascading out all over your nice surfaces. So when it comes to watering indoor plants, this is actually probably more important than a watering can. It's a moisture meter. It will probe into the soil down deep and allow you to tell if a plant is dry, moist, or whatever. Some plants need very, very different watering conditions. So bear in mind that this is very important. Second important gadget, I think, is very, very important because you may have a moisture meter. You may know that the soil is moist, but what does the plant really want? And you may not know what the name of the plant is. So a phone with identifying app on it will do the job nicely. This one is, picture this. Basically, you open the app up, you point it at the plant, you press the button, the shutter goes off, and it will identify the plant. Now, the neat thing is you can scroll up from the pictures, the names, and find out what watering requirements it needs. Fantastic. Life is good, yeah? The only other thing I have failed to mention is the owner of the can. Now, a big watering can like this, filled to the top, now this holds about 2.5 gallons, probably weighs about 25 pounds. So you need some muscle, some arm strength. But having said that, you don't always have to fill up a full watering can. I always like big ones because then you have the option of how much. But quite simply, some of the smaller cans would work quite well as well. There you go, some tips on watering cans, and enjoy, and hopefully your plants will flourish inside and out.